It's July, and if you're like most women I coach, the past 6 months have been a blur of drop-offs, deadlines, and trying to carve out just a little time for yourself. Maybe your training has been steady, or maybe you're realizing you've lost some of that spark, even though you're still showing up. Today, I'm sharing the exact questions I use to check in on my own goals, especially on the days I'm forcing a run between school pickups or squeezing in a quick lift between clients. If you're ready for a no guilt reset and a clear path forward, this episode is for you. Welcome to Miles from Review, the podcast powered by KatFit Strength, where busy women like you find practical solutions to fuel your fitness journey with authenticity and resilience. I'm Kat, your host, a mom of 2 active boys, a business owner, and an ultramarathon runner, and a strength trainer in her 40s. With nearly 2 decades of experience, I'm here to help you cut through the noise of fads, hacks, and quick fixes. This is a space where we celebrate womanhood and motherhood, all while building strength and resilience and reconnecting with you from a place of self-compassion and worthiness. Whether you're lacing up your running shoes to go out for a run, driving your kids to practice, or squeezing in a moment for yourself, I'm right here in the trenches with you. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Miles from Review. I am Kat, your host, and I cannot believe it is July. Today I am recording it. It is July 1. This will be released on Friday, so it'll be the 4th of July. And somehow it felt like yesterday was January 1 and we were just starting this year, and now we are really in the middle of the year. Maybe you set some goals in January. Maybe you were continuing with some goals in January. And I'll be quick to say this episode is not about looking at what you haven't done, but it's a realistic check-in that needs to happen regardless if you've been consistent or if life happens, which is normal. Life can happen. That is all part of being human. So if you felt like your goals have faded into the background, or maybe you're showing up, but you've lost that spark, that motivation, that like super burning fire of like, I can't wait to get this goal conquered, you're definitely not alone. And it was very common when life is chaotic, when you're wearing 10 different hats and you're jumping into all these different roles, caring for everyone else, or managing calendars that just never stop. So we're really going to focus on this chance to pause, take an honest look where you're at, and remember why you started. With that, when we're reflecting, it's not about pointing out all the ways you fell short. It's about looking at what is working and what's not, and what you care about enough to keep showing up for, even when it's messy. So it's looking at everything, but not from a place of guilt and shame. This is why we reflect. And when that happens, even the most dialed in training plan can also feel hollow because we've lost that connection with your why. These questions that I'm going to share with you are questions that I also use for myself to do that check-in. If you are in a position, grab a journal, type on your phone if the Notes app is where you go, and let these 6 questions help guide you on a reflection, realign, and create that clarity for the rest of the year. Question number 1 is, if someone looked at how you spent your time, energy, and focus over the last 6 months, what would they say your priorities were? I'm going to read that one more time. If someone looked at how you spent your time, energy, and focus over the last 6 months, what would they say your priorities were? Question number 2. If you keep going exactly the way you have been, where will you be with your strength, cardio, and mobility by December? Okay, I'm going to say that one again. I'm going to repeat them twice. If you keep going exactly the way you've been, where will you be with your strength, cardio, and mobility by December? Question number 3. Why did you start this goal in the first place? What was your deeper reason? I'm going to repeat it again. Why did you start this goal in the first place? What was your deeper reason? Question number 4. What are the 3 biggest obstacles you'll face in the next 6 months, and how can you get support or create a plan around them? This one is a huge one that a lot overlook with their goals. And I'm going to repeat it. What are the 3 biggest obstacles you'll face in the next 6 months, and how can you get support or create a plan around them? Question number 5. What do you need to cancel, delegate, or let go of to free up space and energy? This is a huge one, and it plays into a bigger part of our goals than we realize. So I'm going to repeat it. What do you need to cancel, delegate, or let go of to free up space and energy? And then the final question, question number 6, is where do you need more structure, and where do you need more freedom? Okay, I'm going to repeat that one. Where do you need more structure, and where do you need more freedom? So this is what I like to call rigid flexibility. And it's about having a framework, but being willing to adjust without guilt when life inevitably changes. So rigid flexibility means you commit to the essence of the plan, but not doing it exactly to the T perfectly. For example, you might have a goal to strength train twice a week, but that does not mean it has to be on the same days or the same length of session every time. It means you'll figure out how to get it done in a way that fits your week. Sometimes that's a 45-minute lift. Sometimes it's a 15-minute between meetings or before getting the kids up. See, this is where the consistency is. And I've said it numerous times on this podcast, is consistency isn't about perfection. It's about creatively, adaptively, being flexible and showing up. We're going to take a quick break. If you're ready to build strength and stay consistent without the overwhelm, I'd love to help you inside of KatFit Strength. This is my online program for busy women who want to train smarter, feel stronger, and create routines that actually fit real life. You'll get clear, no fluff programming, personal coaching support, and the accountability to stick with it, even when life is unpredictable. You can learn more and see if we're a good fit at kat.fit. That's KAT.FIT. All right, let's get back to the episode. I want to share a little bit more of my own story because from the outside, it might look like I have it all together. If you've been a longtime follower, I love it. Thank you so much for showing up. If you are new to the podcast, welcome. But if you've been a longtime follower, you know I train for ultramarathons, which is anything over 26.2 miles. That does require a lot of time and energy throughout the week. I'm a mama twice over, and I run a business, and my kids are into all things sports and music. So from the outside, I run on average between 40 to 50 miles a week, and I strength train 3 times a week. It takes up a big part of my life, but that doesn't mean I never lose focus. Zooming in, and I'm not going to get so granular to the point where I'm going minute by minute, but most of my weeks, I have days where I'm wedging a run in between school pickups and drop-offs or sport pickups and drop-offs, and days where my lifts get cut short down to 20 minutes because I have back-to-back clients. Days where I have to give myself an unplanned day off because my body, my brain, my schedule, everything just needs it. Okay? But I am consistent. However, I can feel very disconnected from my why when I'm juggling and having that rigid flexibility to fit myself and my training into a jam-packed schedule. And when that happens, I ask myself these same questions, and it helps me remember. I train because movement makes me feel more capable and alive. I lift because I want to stay strong and injury-free for the long haul. And I run because it's the time I claim for myself, even when everything else feels chaotic. It's my space where, especially my longer runs, where I'm kind of doing a mental deload. I'm working through business challenges or thinking about client plans. And it's just a way for me to kind of give back to myself. Or I'm pairing it with running with some friends, which is a great social fun activity for me. And I have friends in the trail community who we go log miles on and we talk about any and everything. So if you're feeling like you've lost your spark or you're not doing enough, I promise you this, you are not alone. And if you're in this season where everything feels hard, here are a few things that help me and might help you. Reconnect with your why. Write it down and put it where you'll see it every day. Simplify. You don't have to train 5 days a week. 1 to 2 sessions done consistently matter more. Pair movement with something you enjoy. A podcast, music, walking with a friend, a family member, or a quiet room can help you look forward to it. Reflect weekly. Even a quick 5-minute check-in can help you adjust before you drift too far off track. Okay, so to recap that, reconnect with your why, simplify, pair movement with something you enjoy, and reflect weekly. I want to leave you with this reminder. You don't need a fresh calendar to start over. You can start today. And to be honest, there's nothing magical about January 1 with goal setting. Any day will do just fine. Whether you're running ultramarathons or trying to get that 15-minute lift in, or just make space for a walk after dinner, you are doing enough. You are not behind. You are not failing. You're a human doing your best. If you need help or if you want to build something sustainable, reach out. I'm here for you. Just message the podcast. You've got this. And before I go, if this episode resonated with you, I'd love if you could take a moment and share it with a friend or leave a quick review and follow the podcast. It helps more women like you find Miles from Review and feel supported in their own journey. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for tuning in to Miles from Review, powered by KatFit Strength. If this podcast inspires you, don't keep it for yourself. Hit follow or subscribe to stay updated on the new episodes and leave us a review to help more women and moms discover this space. Your feedback fuels this podcast, and I'd love to hear what's working for you or what topics you want to dive into next. You can connect with me on Instagram at KatFit Strength or share this episode with a friend who is ready to embrace her strength. Remember, fitness isn't about perfection. It's about showing up for yourself and finding strength in every step of your journey. Until next time, keep moving forward 1 mile at a time.